Hey folks, it's Dave back here in the Studio B. It's a Tuesday afternoon, and before I head into work tonight, I thought I would do a little something here on the channel. And I just got to go set up the chat room here to make sure everybody can get in and start chatting away. We don't have any of the bots coming in, so we got to do that. Alrighty, so let me see here. Just get my replay going. Okay. And I think the I like to have the chat replay on too so people can follow along after the fact. Alrighty, so what do we got going on here today? We have, let's go overhead here. Let me get my stuff out of the way. I don't know why, but I've been watching a lot of 1977 on YouTube, football that is, and I may or may not be having an unboxing here, another unboxing, I should say, pretty soon. Let me just get some light on me over here so we can get the camera to focus. So we may or may not be having some unboxings going on here this week. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah. We got some things that may be coming in. So, all right, so what do we got today here? Let's go with the overhead cam and zoom in here. So we got some game-winning drive. So I picked up 1977, and I really like how this is laid out. I mean, this is this is how you do a card. It's got team colors, a little bit of gray in there, a little logo, and the rest is white. You don't need to have any kind of craziness going on. This is perfect. And if you want, you can cut these up into quarters, and I've done that before, so you have individual team cards for everybody here. But I really, really do like this here, how this sets up. Okay, so this is 77. For some reason, I didn't have 77. You know, 76 is kind of my big one, along with 78. But for some reason, I've been on a 77 kick. So today, what I want to do is I'm going to play, those are my sheets I need here. I'm going to play Seattle at Oakland. Now, this was a absolute beatdown by the Raiders in real life, and you know me, I like to do that. So this is kind of an unboxing for this right here, as well as let me get my other thing over here, just so I can read this a little bit better. So I got my charts in front of me here, so I can put it together. I'm going to run through setting up the score sheet and the whole thing as well, and when we get going here. So yeah, so you know me, I like my blowouts. Don't ask me why, but I do. So we're gonna play a game here. So let me zoom in a little bit more here on the score sheet so you can kind of follow along here. Alrighty, so it's going to be Seattle at Oakland. All right, now it's been a while since I played this, so I'm kind of hoping I can do this correctly. Okay, so we start with Seattle's. Division. We'll just call them. Okay, we'll go Seahawks. So we can make it a little bit different, and then the Raiders. All right, so that's kind of how we're setting up our score sheet right now. Is Seattle at Oakland? So we're just going to say 1977, and that will be in Oakland. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing we got to do is figure out the points scored range and then the turnover range, okay? And it's based on 11 to 66. It's been a while since I did this, so work with me. All right, so Seattle is, if we look at Seattle here, they're 11 to 24, okay? Now that's going to be modified by the Oakland defense. Okay, defensive adjustment. So it looks like it's a -1, okay? So if I'm doing this correctly, so instead of 11 to 24 for Seattle, it's going to be 11 to 23. And that means that the turnover section is going to be 24 to 66. So again, you have the 11 to 66 roll. You start with the team's offense and you factor in the visiting team defense. So in Oakland's case, they're going to take away a scoring chance. So in order for Seattle to score, it's 11 to 23. A 24 to 66 is going to be a miss. Now for the run, the TD run, it says 11 to 24, and we're going to subtract 2. So it's going to be 11 to 22. So that means the field goal will be, so 24 will be 22. So it'll be 23 to 32. And now the TD pass is going to be, we start with 32. And the TD pass is +1. So it's going to be 32 to 64. And the field goal is 65 to 66. So that's kind of how that works right there. Okay, so we're just making adjustments to Seattle. So to follow along here, the scoring range was 11 to 24, but we subtract 1 because of the Oakland defense, so it's 11 to 23. So that's going to be turnovers 24 to 66. For a TD run, it was 11 to 24, but Oakland says on a TD run we subtract 2, so that's going to be 11 to 22. That means our field goal range for the first line is going to be extended. So instead of field goal 25 to 32, it's 23 to 32. We start with the 32 here for our TD passes. Okay, and actually that should be 33 because you can't have the same number here. So it's going to be a 33. That's 33. So 33, now instead of 33 to 63, we're going to add 1. The Oakland defense says to add 1, so 33 to 64. And so the field goal instead of 64 to 66 is 65 to 66. So basically, for a point scored, you're taking a look at this. That's going to be your overall, if you score or not. And then you're going to determine, do I get a touchdown or a field goal? And is it a TD run or a TD pass? And you just kind of size that up accordingly. Now, for the fumbles now here, so they have nothing on a fumble. On a punt return, I'm not sure why they have 2 punts there. So they don't have a punt return. And intercepted is, they do have an interception, 11 to 12 and a 34. So that means if you roll an 11, you return the interception for a touchdown. If you roll a 12, you have to roll again and get 34 or less. And the PAT, that's wrong. I think that's the PAT. That's the extra point. No, wait, the extra point's down here. Well, I don't know what that second punt is for. That's kind of weird. So now we come down here to the punt return. Oh, I screwed this up. I completely screwed this up. I'm sorry. Let me fix this. It's been a while since I did this. I forgot. I'm working on the turnovers now. So let me just fix this right here. So 11 to 22. 23. It's been, again, this has been a long time since I played this game. 23 to 32. And then we had a 33. So I'll get this all better now. 64 and 65 to 66. Our turnover is 24 to 66. Okay, so down here, this is when I determine what the turnover is going to be. All right, so stupid Dave. Stupid Dave. So now we need to find out what the turnover is going to be. So this is the so that's the point scored results, the turnover results. Here's our kicks. Forget about that last couple of minutes. All right, so on our turnover results, our fumble is 11 to 14. So we'll get that second number is going to change with Oakland. So the lost fumble is +2. So it's going to be 11 to 14, 11 to 16. And now the punt is going to bump up. So from 15, it's going to go to 21 because we're adding 2. And so we're adding, so 15, 16, 16, 21. Yep, so 21 to 32 will be our punt on this one. Interception is 33 to 46. Interception is +1. So that's going to turn from 33 to 51. And then the missed field goal. Oh, it's the second punt here. Oh, they changed this here. I didn't realize that. So we're going to be a 52 to 64. 2 to 64. And the missed field goal still 65. 66. Okay. Our punt return is null. Our kick return is null. Interception return we said was 11 to 12 with a 34 as the second number. And our fourth down number is, we subtract over here, so it's going to be from the Raiders. Fourth down is -3. So if there's a fourth down thing in the third quarter, we can fix that. Our fumble return is nothing either. And our point after is 11 to 63, with a 14 as a secondary number if we roll the 63. Okay, so that is how you do Seattle. Now for Oakland, they're we'll take a look at Oakland over here so we can follow along. Hopefully we'll get this one right this time. All right, so this is going to be the Raiders. All righty. So for Oakland, their scoring is 11 to 32, and Seattle's going to add 4. Okay, so the point scored instead of 11 to 32, so it's going to be 33, 34, 35, 36. So 11 to 36 they will score, and so turnover will be 41 to 66. So that's going to be the range on that. Touchdown is 11 to 26, but that's going to change. And the touchdown for Seattle on the TD run is +3. So that's going to change from 11 to 26 to 31, 32, 33. So 11 to 33 will be a TD run. Our field goal now will be 34 to 36. Our TD pass is 41 to 56. We're going to add 2. So that's a 61-62. So 41 to 62. And our field goal will be 63 to 66. So that's going to be how the Raiders will score. Now for their turnovers, their fumble is 11 to 15 -2. So their fumble will be 11 to 13. The punt will be 14 to 33. Interception is 34 to 45 +1. Right, so 34 to 46. And the punt will be 51 to 63. And the missed field goal is 64 to 66. So that's how the Raiders shake down. Okay. And Gary stops by. Hi, Gary. Just playing some game-winning drive. I just picked up 1977, so I wanted to play this game between the Raiders and the Seahawks. Our punt return is 0. Our kick return is 0. Fourth down, we add 3. So if we go for it on fourth down, we add 3. And I'll figure that out when that time comes. No interception. The PAT is 11 to 64 with a 33. And, we can return a fumble. So 11 to 12 with a 52. So that's kind of how it looks right now, if I got it all squared away. And let me take off this right here. She turned up the heat down here, and it is now hot. As soon as I turn on all the lights and she turns on the heat, it gets hot down here. Okay, there we go. I feel like Beavis. All right, yeah, here we go. All right, so we're set to go. Let me set up my score sheet again, because I did kind of mess that up So, Seattle and Oakland, and this is the Seahawks, and it's 1977 in Oakland. All right, that's the hard part, and it's been a while since I did it, so it was even harder. So now on the fourth down, let's pull up my rules here. So on fourth down, what happens is if you make a field goal, but you're trailing by 7 or less, you can try to convert that field goal into a touchdown. So what we do on that, let's see, okay, so it changes the score. That's what it is. So on fourth down, I would subtract 3 from the scoring points. And then for Oakland, I would add 4 add 3 because of the Seattle defense. Okay, yep, it's been a while since, so we got that. All right, so let's play. Let's play some game-winning drive. So what we're going to do is going to roll our dice. And we have red and white. We'll determine if we get points scored or if it's going to be a turnover. And then blue and yellow will determine the second section here to see how it goes. Okay. Should the first punt number for Seattle be 17 to 32? No, because there's no 17s, 18s, 19s, or 20s. It's all base 6. Okay, so it's an 11 to 66 roll. So you're going to get 11 to 22, 23 to 32, 33 to 64, 65 to 66. So there's no, again, it's all dice 1 to 6. So there's no 7, 8s, or 9s. So it's 11 to 16, 21 to 26. So that's how that goes. Okay, it's a little confusing. I know when I first started playing, it was a little confusing. But all right, let's roll the dice and let's see what goes on here. So Seattle will have the ball. No, let's see. No, home will start. So home starts first, and you alternate home visitor, home visitor, home visitor, home visitor. So you get 5 in the first, and then 5 in the second. So basically, everybody gets five drives. All right, so we're going to start with the Raiders. They'll be the home team. So here's our roll. So our roll is 21. So that's in here. So they will score. And a 24 will be a touchdown run. Okay. So for Oakland, they get a TD run, and they lead 6-0. Now the extra point down over here. Let me make sure you can see that. The extra point is 11 to 64. So we're going to take a look at the red and white, and 33 is good, so we don't even need to look at those. So the extra point is good. So we're going to put a little good for the extra point, and it's 7-0, so the Raiders go right down and score on the Seahawks. All right, so now Seattle ball, and they need 11 to 23 to score, and they get a 45, so they do not score. So we go to the turnover section, and a 24 falls in here, so Seattle will punt. Actually, I should probably put it over here just so I can have the Oakland over here and the Seattle over here. So that's a punt. All right, so Oakland ball. Now let's see when they drive. So they got 23, so they will score again. So 23 is here, and 11's a TD run, so it's going to be another TD run for Oakland. So as they did in real life, they are crushing the Seahawks. 13-0 right now. And a 56 is in between 11 and 64, and so the extra point is good. So 14 to absolutely nothing. Seahawks with the ball back here in the first quarter. And they get a 32. And nope, that's not a score, so that's a turnover. And a 21 is another punt. So Seattle has to kick it away here. It's going to be interesting to see when I get another game in when I play this game. And I will be playing this game in a long play game to see how bad the beating is. All right, so Oakland ball. And a 66. No, that's terrible. Wow, 66 and 11, huh? So it's going to be a turnover and a fumble. So Oakland's going to fumble here. So now on the fumble, they cannot return it. Okay, so there's no fumble return on that. So that's that'll be out of range. Let me just slide this out of the way so I can see things a little bit better here. Couldn't see the chat room at all. Alrighty, so it's going to be a fumble. So now what happens on a fumble? All right, and that's the end of the first quarter. So that's the end of the first quarter. So the end of one, it is Seattle absolutely nothing, and the Oakland Raiders 14. So it's 14-0 here after one quarter. So what happens now after a turnover is you add 6 to the roll. So this 11 to 23 now becomes 11 to 33 just for one roll. So when you add 6 rolls, you're actually bumping the 10s up because, again, we're in base 6. So 24, 25, 26, then 31, 32, 33. So there's your 6. So it goes to a 33. So for this drive by Seattle, it will be 11 to 33 just on this drive. And they get a 61. So it's going to be a turnover. And again, it's blue, then yellow, so a 32, and they will punt again. So even though they had good field position, they will have to kick it away. All right, so now Oakland ball here in the second quarter as Glenn comes by. Hi, Glenn. Just doing a little bit of game-winning drive. I picked up the 77 season. And again, I love how this looks. I mean, this is just such a clean look, when you get that. I actually printed out all the teams. I was like, I'm going to print out all the teams because I like this game so much. And one season I didn't have. I was like, they must not have it. If I don't have 77, they don't have it. They had it, so I picked it up today. And so Oakland with the ball. And they have, another 66, so that'll be another turnover. Turnover means just not a score. Because, again, a punt's not a turnover, but you know what I mean. And a 51 is going to be a punt. So Oakland is forced to punt. All right, so Seattle gets the ball back, trailing 14-0. And a 63, that's going to be out of range. So a 63 is a turnover, and a 52 is, almost picked off, but it's not. So Seattle gets away with it, and they will have to punt that away. All right, Oakland ball here as we get down to the end of the quarter here. Great. Yeah, I may or may not have picked this up. I don't want to use the A word, but I may have picked this up. And I may have an unboxing in some games this weekend. Just saying. All right, so Oakland ball, so a 45. That's going to be a turnover, and a 15 is a punt. So Seattle, after giving up a couple early scores, have settled down on defense, and there's been no scoring here in the second quarter. So Seattle with a chance. One last crack here for Seattle, and a 62 is going to be a turnover, and a 24 will be another punt. And that will end the first half. So the score at the end of the first half, still a couple of early touchdown runs by the Raiders, and they lead this one 14 to absolutely nothing. So Seattle started off here in the third quarter. Incidentally, I remade the score sheet a little bit. It was really tight. The PDF that comes with it was really tight, so I expanded it out in a graphic program and then stretched this so I had more room to write, because these were really thin. So I gave myself more room to write, even though I get messy writing, but it was real thin before. So I worked for about an hour today to make this a little bit bigger so I could read it and write it in a little bit better. All right, so we're going to have the second half kickoff now. As you can see, I don't have to worry about punts and kickoffs because neither team can return a punt or a kickoff. If by chance a team did, and so, all right, so let's just say, I should probably look at Houston, right? Because Houston is the team that had Billy White Shoes Johnson in the 70s. So let me see if I can get Houston on here. Houston was playing, right? Do I not have? Oh, here's Houston. Okay. Yeah, okay. So a team like Houston. So here we go. So you can see on Houston, on punts, so if the result was a punt for whoever Houston was playing, you'd roll the dice, and Houston would return it on an 11 and 12. That's Billy White Shoes Johnson right there. Any kind of kickoff, if it's a roll of an 11, you'd have to roll again and get 54 or less. And so, so Houston's one of the teams, again, see Kansas City with nothing, but Houston is one of those teams that had a lot of returns for punt returns and kickoff returns for scores. So that's when you would use that. In this particular game, we don't have anything for kickoffs or punt returns. I still, and I understand why games do that. I still like when the game allows a small chance to return a kick, even though they didn't in real life. I understand why they don't, but for me, I do kind of like that. I don't know, I just do. All right, so let's continue on here. So we're in the second half in Oakland, 14-0 for the Raiders. Seattle with the ball. Oh, and they're going to get a score here. So, again, the 12 is right here. That's a score. And a 34 is a touchdown pass. So it's going to be a TD pass by the Seahawks, and they're on the board. All right, so let's look for our PAT. It's 11-63. That's what that is. It's a 6. 11-63, and a 45 is good. So the kick is good. So all of a sudden, it's 14-7 now. And again, we don't worry about kickoffs or punts. So let's go now. Oakland ball. Oh, boy. A 64 is terrible. So it's going to be a turnover, and a 62 is a punt. So Oakland, since a couple of early scores, have done absolutely nothing here against the Seahawks. And this is their second year. This is the Seahawks' second year. And the Seahawks now is 65 and a 66. So, again, the 65 is down here to turn over. And the 66 is it's going to be a missed field goal. So the kick is up, and the kick is no good. And it's a missed field goal. And that just adds some spice to the game. It really doesn't. It doesn't really help with field position or anything. It just adds a little bit of flavor to the game is what I think it is. All right, so Oakland ball here in the third quarter. Up 14-7. Oakland 43. Nope. And a 62 is a punt. So Oakland not doing very good here with their rolls. And so Seattle ball here as the third quarter comes to an end. Billy White Shoes was a weapon. I can't wait to play him in that game that begins with A. And Seattle at 51 is out of range, and a 22 is another punt. So that's the end of the third quarter. So Seattle gets a score, and they will trail 14-7 as we go to the fourth quarter. Okay, so Oakland ball. So now basically Oakland gets 3 possessions to the Seattle 2 is what it is. And Seattle can use the, what is she doing up there? I think she's making a smoothie or something. Okay, so Oakland will score with a 22. So they will score, and a 53 is a TD pass. So Oakland gets a TD pass. And now we try for the extra point. And I love games that roll for extra points. I don't like automatic extra points. You have to roll for the extra points. And a 23 is good. So Oakland makes it 21-7 here in the fourth quarter, putting pressure on Seattle now. They get 2 possessions. They need 2 touchdowns, or this one's over. And this one's going to be over. A 41 is a turnover, and a 16 is a fumble. So Seattle fumbles the ball, and they do have a fumble return. So if we roll 11, it's returned for a touchdown. If we roll a 12, then this number has to be 52 or less. So Seattle fumbles the ball. Oakland picks it up, and ooh, 13, so close. They run it back, but they do not score. So after the turnover, remember, we're going to add 6. So this is a 46. So they have really good field position now. So 11-46 for Oakland. And, yeah, 25, they will score. And a 42 is another TD pass. So Oakland really opening up this game. The extra point is good. And so now it is 28-7. So we don't have to worry about going for it on fourth down because this is basically a blowout now. And a 56 is a turnover, and a 26 is another punt. So Seattle will kick it away, and now Oakland's last drive. I don't take the knee. I want to get all the correct stats, so I go with the drive. So they will score again. So a 26 is a score, and a 36. So they're actually going to kick a field goal. And so they're going to make it 31-7. And that's not too bad because the actual score was, I think the actual score was like 41-7. We came pretty close with that. It started off as a blowout, and then it toned down. So let me go to that game, the Oakland-Seattle game. And that was Oakland-Seattle. It was 44-7. 44-7, and we ended up 31-7. I would say that's fair. I would say that's in the ballpark. So Oakland gets what's that? 14-17. Seattle gets nothing, and they get 17, and so the final score is 31-7 for the Raiders. Pretty cool. I like this game. Let's play a Houston game. And we can try out that, we'll try out the punt returns and stuff. So let's go to Houston. And let's see who they played. So they were 8-6. What is she grinding up out there? It's unbelievable. What do we say? Houston and Cleveland? You want to go Houston, Cleveland? Might be a nice little divisional game. What was Cleveland that year, actually? Cleveland was in last place. How about Cincinnati? We have a Houston-Cincinnati game. Yeah, we do. Oh, they had an overtime thriller in Cincinnati. All righty. So we're going to go Houston-Cincinnati. All righty. So let's set up our score sheet. See if I can get it done in the first round this time. So we're going to go to Cincinnati. So Houston's going to be on the road. All righty. And we're going to go to Cincinnati. And the final score of this one, if I can remember, it is 13-10. Low scoring game. So this was a low scoring game. So let's see what we can do here. So we're going to go Houston and Cincinnati. And there's two N's in Cincinnati. Right, Dave Little? All right, so it's going to be the Oilers, as we like to say. All right, so the Oilers score is 11-24. Cincinnati says 0, so there's no change. So that'll be 11-24. And so 25-66 will be the turnovers. A TD run, 11-26. A TD run, we're going to add one. So a TD run is going to be 11-31. 11-31. So 32-36 for our first field goal. A TD pass is going to be 41 to something. And a TD pass is another 0. So a TD pass will remain 41-55. And the field goal 56-66. Now on our turnovers, our fumbles 11-15. We add 3 for that. So that's going to be 16, 21, 22, right, when we add 3. So the fumble's going to be 11-22. And then 23-34 will be our first punt. And then for interceptions, 35 we start with. And it's going to end. The interception is -1. So the interception goes from 44 to 33. Right, so 35, 43. So now our punt will be 44 to 63. And our missed field goal, 64 to 66. Now here's our punt return. 11 and 12 will be a touchdown. Here's our kick returns. 11 with a 54 on the second roll. Oh, we can even interception return. So 11 to 12 with a 32. We can return a fumble. 11 to 14 with a 61. Fourth down, we look at the defense. Fourth down is a 0, so there's no change on fourth down. And a PAT is a straight up 11 to 55. So that is our Houston score sheet. And now let's do the Bengals here. So we have Cincinnati, and this will be the Bengals with my terrible writing. Alrighty, so I'm trying to do this so you guys can see this, but my arm's kind of in the way. So our points scored is 11 to 23. Houston's defense is 0 adjustment, so that'll remain 11 to 23. The 0 adjustments are nice and easy, and the turnovers are 24 to 66. Our TD run, 11 to 23. The defense says no change, so the run will be 11 to 23 as well. So that means our field goal is 24-35. So basically, the first 2 run together and the second 2 run together. So there's never any adjustment from the first field goal to the TD pass or anything. So you got to keep that. So this is going to be 11 to 35 for TD run to field goal. It's just where does this number slide for the TD run? And the TD pass, you're going to start with the whatever number that ends with. Okay, that's going to always stop here at this number. So you pick it up here, and this is the adjustment. So the only adjustment is the TD run second number, the TD pass second number, and then the other 2 will fall in line if you follow that. So our TD pass is 36 to something, and so it starts with a 54, and the TD pass again, it's -1. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at Detroit. The TD run is -1, so that's going to be a 22. So 11 to 22, and this is a 23 to 35. I was looking at Detroit, so that's a 22. So that'll be 36, and it's a -1 on a pass. So 53, 36 to 53. And the field goal will be 54, 66. Now on the turnovers, and he adjusts to the fumble, +4 on the fumble. So 11 to 15 turns into 16, 21, 22, 23. So 11 to 23 will be our fumble, and our punt will be 24-34. Interception starts at 35. The interception is +1, so 35-44. So the punt will be 45-62. And the field goal miss is 63-66. As far as any returns, so no punt return, no kick return, and no fumble return. Interception, yes. 11-15 with a 36. And the PAT 11-65. So that's almost automatic with a 44. So we have our score sheet set up. Billy White Shoes Johnson is in the game. And let's see how it does here. So this is 1977, and we are in Cincinnati for this one. All right, so let's roll our ball here, right? Here we go. So we're looking for 11-24 for the Oilers on their scoring. And, they get the 16, so they will score, and a 65 will be a field goal. All righty, so, I'm sorry, the Bengals start. We always start with the home team. So the Bengals will score, because it always starts with the home team. So the Bengals will get the field goal. All righty, so Cincinnati will start, and they'll get the field goal, and they lead this one 3-0. So now we do our kickoff, right? Because we have our kickoff returns. We need an 11 on the red and the white, and then a 54 or less on the blue. So we don't get the 11, so they don't get the kick return, and that's all it is. So now let's go to Houston's drive. So after the field goal, the Oilers will start it here. They're the visitors. And, an 11. Now, if that was a kick return, they would have got a kick return if I had rolled that for the kick return. So they will score, and a 32. They will get a field goal here. So we're tied at 3-3. And there's no kick return for the Bengals, so we don't even roll. So this will be Cincinnati's second return. Our second drive. 36 is going to be out of range of the score, so it's going to be a turnover. And a 65 will be a missed field goal. So they drive down the field, and this time they miss the field goal. And so Houston will take over. So, I'm sorry, that's a 3-3 game, right? 3-3 game. And a 23, and that'll be good for Houston. They will score, and a 14 is a TD run. So Houston cashes in with a TD run. The extra point is 11-55, and that is good. So the extra point is good. So Houston takes the lead 10-3 for Houston, and the extra point was good. Okay, so Cincinnati with the ball, and this will finish up the first quarter. A 42 is going to be a turnover, and a 65 is another missed field goal. So Cincinnati, 1 for 3 on field goals in this one, and that'll end the first quarter. So it is Houston 10 and Cincinnati 3 after the first quarter. So it's going to be Houston ball now. And Houston will score again, the 21. That falls in the range there in a 62. They will connect on a field goal. Who was their kicker back then? It wasn't Fritsch, was it? I don't know who the kicker was for the Oilers. Who was the kicker for the Oilers in my field goal contest? I don't even remember now. Now it's bugging me. Hang on a sec. So the field goal kickers for the Oilers was Tony Frisch. It was, and they had Tom Dempsey for a bit too. So Tony Frisch will come in. I wonder if I go to click on the box score, I wonder if Dempsey was kicking. No, it was Frisch. So Tony Frisch is the one kicking in this game. So Frisch comes through with a field goal. So Houston gets another field goal, and they lead this one 13-3. So there's no kickoff. So Cincinnati will just get the ball back. Earl Campbell for the Oilers. Yeah, could have been. And a 26. Oh, it's just missed. Just missed. So 16 is a fumble, though. So the turnover is a fumble. So Cincinnati's going to fumble the ball. And, okay, we got a pretty decent-sized chance here. 11-14 is our fumble return chance. And if we roll a 14, we're going to get a 61 or less. So it's a fumble. Houston picks up the fumble. And they will just fall on it. They don't get the touchdown. All right, so Houston ball, and now because of the fumble, this bumps to a 34. So 11 to 34 is our scoring range, and no, 53 is too much. And a 13, and that's a fumble. So Houston fumbles it right back to the Bengals. Now, they can't return the fumble, so they'll just get the ball. So Cincinnati ball after the turnover. Remember, we add 6, so that's going to be a 33. So 11 to 33. 11 to 33. Yes, they will cash in on the short field, and a 52 is a TD pass. So the Bengals get right back in this game after the turnover with a TD pass. And the extra point, 11 to 65, pretty much automatic, and that is good. So they've come back to make it 13 to 10. And Houston gets one more crack here. Oh, again, and we have the kick return. I almost forgot about that. So they have the kick return. And Houston Oilers #1. Yeah, they're doing pretty well here. It'd be great to see Billy Whiteshoes return a kick here in this one, right? So what we need on a kick return, we need an 11. Like I rolled the last time after. And nope. So there's no kick return, so it's just going to be a straight-out drive. Last drive of the first half for the Oilers. A 31 is just out of range, and a 42, that's intercepted. Now, because it's intercepted, they have an interception return chance. So let's roll the dice, and the Bengals might have just had a pick 6 to take the lead. 11 to 15 we need. 11 to 15, and no, 22, just missed it, actually. So they'll pick it off, and that'll end the half. So the score at the end of the first half is 13 to 10, and that was the score in real life. But we still have a half to go. So let me see. So Houston picked up a field goal to get their 13, and Cincinnati with a TD pass got him the touchdown to make it 13 to 10. So that's what we got, 13 to 10. All right, so Houston ball. So they'll get the kickoff. So let's roll for the kickoff. Nope, no kickoff return. So it's just going to be Houston ball. Begin the third quarter. And a 36 is out of range. A 62 is a punt. So I think that's the first Houston punt of the game. Yeah. So they will punt this away. And Cincinnati will get it. And there's no punt return. I don't think either team's punted yet. I like it when it stacks. A 35 is out of range. The Bengals in a 64 is another missed field goal. Holy cow. A missed field goal. That's 3 missed field goals. And who was that? Was that Barr for the Bengals? Chris Barr is 1 for 4 in field goals in this game. Not good. Not good at all. I love kicking. I love 70s kicking. All right, so Houston's going to get it back after the missed field goal. Boy, you had those. Even if you got a couple of them, they'd be in the lead. A 42, that's going to be out of range. That was a 4. So 40 and 11 is a fumble. Uh-oh. So Houston fumbles the ball. And there's no fumble return, so Cincinnati will get it. Again, after the turnover, add 6, so basically add 1 to the tens column. So it's going to be 11 to 33. And nope, that's out of range. And they will give it right back on the fumble here on the 15. So Cincinnati fumbles. Both teams turning the ball over. And we have a fumble return chance. So let's go to the fumble return. And nope, they don't get the return. So Houston takes over here in the third quarter. This will be the last series of the third quarter. And they'll have a short field to work with. So again, 11 to 34. We're changing that because of the turnover. 11 to 34. No, it's out of range. And a 55 will be a punt. So we haven't had too many punts in this game. And so that is the score after 3. So nobody scored. Right? So it's going to remain 13 to 10 as we go to the fourth quarter. Sloppy game. It must be raining in Cincinnati, yeah. Well, what was the date on this one? This was this game went to overtime, and it was October 30th, so it was a Halloween game. I'll check the weather. Oh, it doesn't say the weather. Oh, it does say, yeah, 52. 52. 68% humidity. That's all it said. The Bengals were favored by 6, if you will. So that is that. And you have final score for arena football. I got it for arena football. I couldn't figure it out. I had a lot of questions on like what to do on things. I don't know much about arena football, but I do have it for arena football too, and it was kind of fun. Okay, so Cincinnati will get the ball here, trailing by 3 to start the fourth quarter. And it's just a regular roll. Oh, they will cash in 21-65. This field goal is good. So they finally get another field goal. So that's 2 field goals out of 5 for Chris Barr. And he has tied the game at 13. Right, so field goal, TD, that's 13. Yeah, 2 field goals and TDs. So it's 13-13. So now they will kick off to Houston. So let's roll for the kickoff. Again, we need an 11. We got a 66. That's a touchdown at Appa, but we're not playing Appa. So Houston with the ball now. And a 52 is a turnover. And a 53 is a punt. So Houston will punt this away. Cincinnati has yet to punt. And there's no punt return, so we don't worry about that. So, tie game here. Cincinnati with the ball. And they will march it down the field. And a 35 is another field goal. So Cincinnati, now they're 3 for 6. So they're hitting 50%. And they will take the lead 16-13. So this is Houston's last gasp. Let's check the kick return. Nope, no kick return. So here they go. We need 11-24. This game's over. And we got a 51 and a 62. They can't convert. They will have to punt it away. And now Cincinnati, all they're going to do is not turn it over here late in the game. And they will score again, actually. A 41 is a TD pass. So Cincinnati will drive down with the 21 and the 41, and they'll get a TD pass, and they will put the exclamation point on this game. The extra point is good, and that will be our final score. So Cincinnati, with a big fourth quarter, they get 13 points, it looks like, right? So that's going to be a 23-13. So, yeah, Houston with nothing. So they get 3, 10, 13. So they get 13 total points. And so Cincinnati had 10 in that first half, nothing in the third, and they added 13 to make it 23. And that is our final score, 23-13. So, yeah, 4 punts and a turnover by Houston. Billy White Shoes Johnson ineffective in this game. And that is that. So, come back to Studio B, and that was some fun there. Did I get my $10 worth out of that season I just bought? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will probably play more, too, now that I've got the season. So I got the season done. Again, I love how this looks here. All these teams, just the colors are so nice. You know, just so nice. They're so nice. So I got 77 printed out. I got some score sheets printed out, and we should be good to go. So anyway, a little Dave's Classic Rewind today as we played a couple of games from 1977. Had a lot of fun. At least I did. Hope you did too. Again, I screwed up the beginning of that trying to get the score sheets right. It's a little funky at first, but once you get it, you're good to go. So anyway, alrighty, I gotta get ready. I'm working tonight in the freezing cold as I did last night. But hopefully later on this week, we'll see you again here. I do have oh boy, I got a game Friday. We're back to play-by-play on Friday. Saturday though is going to be the day. I think after my morning job on Saturday, I'm home and I need to get the big A on the table again. I was gonna do it this morning, and I've been on the phone all day with work, so couldn't do it today. But hopefully soon. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye bye.